I'm SupaWaluigi, and welcome back to SupaConstruction here in the Nintendo World Park. Almost forgot the title of my own series there. Anyway, we are straight into construction here, although it's more scenery really. But we do have a big monumentous occasion in this part, because we will be building the first roller coaster. And then after that, there should probably only be about one more part in Clocktown, and then we can move on. But right now we are just getting in some more scenery, filling up those gaps. This is more of a kind of a rest stop area. You'll see in a bit, it's kind of a little temple with flowers, and you just sit around if you've had too much excitement for one day. Getting in some new plants there, but then I decided that I didn't like them, and we're going with the classic red, green and blue. Those large patches of flowers are quite useful. They're just they look nice. Obviously we want to change it up elsewhere, but we'll see that later. So we're getting a little bit of a just a little building signalling the entrance to the little garden area. Don't think I was going to put a stall in there, but it wouldn't fit, so that went out the window. We will get a hidden treasure chest in there in a moment. But yeah, this is just a nice looking, relaxing garden area for guests to enjoy at their leisure and take a break from the park. Actually, I do have a little bit of a problem with the park. We might see that later on, actually. Oh, there's the temple there. But the park guests, there's quite a lot of them towards where the merry-go-round is. Just standing around. They've completely stopped in the middle of the pathway. And I clicked on them. You can see a couple there in the corner. I clicked on some of them, and their happiness is completely down, like at zero. So I think once they have no happiness, they just stand there until, I don't know, they can regain happiness. The happiness is usually sort of reliant on their hunger and thirst, and they appear to be really hungry and thirsty. Even though we have plenty of food and drink stalls, they just don't find them. I tried to light up the clock on the clock tower there, but it didn't really work, because the lights have to be placed on pathways. Also, we're just taking a quick look around the whole of Clocktown, because I was just trying to figure out where things could go. But here's the little minor thing before the roller coaster. We're just getting in some stables. Actually, I had this idea for quite some time. I thought it was going to go outside of Clocktown, but I thought it filled up this area pretty well. We're just getting in some horses. So this is sort of the what are they called, the two brothers who force you to race for Epona. Can't remember what their names are. But yeah, this is just a little stable. Got a couple of horses there, a male and female horse, so they might breed, and that might get pretty full with horses later. We can always add some more horses as well. We've got a little viewing deck over there, even though you can easily see the horses from the pathway anyway, so I don't know why you'd want to pay to go in there. And just making it look nice with the trees there, getting in some terrain. That horse messed up the terrain by standing there. Getting in a little pond as well to make it look nice. There we go. Getting in some terrain painting just to detail it out a little bit with some mud there. It looks more like a bit of a savanna more than a normal field, but hey ho. And then we're just getting in another sort of rest stop area with some toilets and information kiosk and an ATM. So it's another little relaxing area if you need a little bit of a rest. Getting in some more of those trees. This is where Clocktown becomes less of a town actually, and moves into a more of a natural state. I don't know if it really makes that much sense. I know in Majora's Mask, towards the back of Clocktown, you do have that sort of garden area where Tingle is. There's a horse. And it's kind of grassy and natural, but there's not really that many trees, so it gets more forest-like when we build the roller coaster. So I don't know if it really makes much sense. You can always tell me what you guys think of it later on in the comments, or whenever. But obviously we have to get to that first. Just getting in a couple more flowers. This is where we get those tulips in now. Trying to just mix up the colour scheme. Those sort of yellow squares. It's not a great representation of the Triforce, but it kind of works, and we just contrast that with the blue tulips there. So now we are getting into the roller coaster build, just going through the whole list of roller coasters here. So if you have an idea for a roller coaster in this park, you can pause the video, I suppose, and just take a look at that list and suggest a roller coaster. But just going through the list, I was thinking, I had an idea. I was just trying to find the roller coaster again for this idea. Come on, there we go. It's a flying roller coaster, because I had thought about Loftwings from Skyloft in Skyward Sword. It kind of clashes with the Majora's Mask specific Legend of Zelda area here, but I think that kind of works, to have this mismatch of Legend of Zelda things, because then you just get a greater representation of it. So we start off just with a little dip and flying over the southern swamp, lazy river, and this part is meant to be kind of more relaxing, just to get a feel for the ride. So you're not going too fast, you're not going too slow, and it's not too twisty turny, although we do have an inline twist just through the ball there. And then we get the big build up here on the chain lift into the big swoop down, and then you'll see later with the scenery. Really wanted to get in a what's it called, overbank curved, but it didn't really fit. I mean, it would look good and feel nice, but it didn't work. So we just went up and over the wall into like a what's it called, up twist thingy, spiral, that's it. And it kind of represents the tornadoes in Skyloft. We're just testing the roller coaster here, just seeing how it looks and how it runs, and it's pretty good. Gains a lot of speed down there, and then up the spiral. And we're just trying to get back to the station, but trying to make it a little bit more interesting. Didn't want to go straight into the station. Trying to fit in that overbank curve again. And then we get a double twist in. Extra bit of excitement there. And then we need to try and slow it down so we can take it back into the station. Just seeing how it looks again on the test there, through the double twist. And then I messed up the terrain here, so I clicked out, and then I noticed that the roller coaster was testing for real now, so they could have easily crashed if I took too long. But crisis averted. And then we're just trying to get it straight back into the station there. Thought that was a bit short. From the previous Nintendo Land Park, we actually had a crash on one of the rides. If you've seen the video, talked about how the Twin Bellows Dual ride crashed, and several guests actually died on that roller coaster, which was sad. But I realised that the problem was that there was a brake failure when it broke down. If there was a brake failure, one of the trains would get stuck on the brakes and the other would crash into it. So I was aware that I needed to place my brakes pretty carefully. So we're just getting a real life test now. As it comes back into the station, slows down there, and there we go. It looks pretty good, and the excitement and intensity and nausea rating are sort of the same across the board there, all at medium, so it's pretty good. And we're just colouring up the track here into a sky blue with white, just to represent the sort of flying through the sky kind of thing. And going with the classic red and yellow for Link's Loftwing from the game. I wanted to change the train colours to have one red and yellow and another different colour, but I couldn't seem to find the option to do that. I'm sure there is one. I'll try and find that later. We're just getting in the queue line now, and we will be building up the scenery around that to make it look more interesting. Getting in a mechanic, and I think we'll get in a handyman as well, just to make sure that nothing breaks down over here whilst we're testing. And now we are getting in the scenery around the roller coaster. So the idea I had here was that it kind of, one of the main points of the ride would be like you're flying through a forest. You get some of that over at the southern swamp area, but with the speed it should be more exciting, just flying through the trees. And overall this area turns into quite a big forested area, and it kind of makes sense if we start calling this sort of part of the clock town kind of a Loftwing sanctuary. I mean, to have the trees and everything would make sense there. And there are a lot of trees. It's really quite dense. It's mainly in this part we mainly do sort of the station and the main bits of the roller coaster towards the opening of the roller coaster just before we go out onto the southern swamp area. I've kind of left that blank for now because I'm not sure what other rides are going to go in there and how it's going to look. I'm kind of thinking we do need to build it up a bit more to make it so that it's not an abrupt stop from the populated Castletown area. So we'll probably have the roller coaster go through some buildings and other stuff like that. Some of the trees actually got deleted over here when I was building the roller coaster, so we're just filling in with those shrubs again, and we're filling in some more of that gap surrounding the actual track with some more trees, just to make it more dense again and make it more exciting. And it looks pretty good. I mean, there's kind of a difference between the tropicalness surrounding the actual lazy river and those pine trees there, but it looks alright. And then we're getting in some more trees just around the track. And by the horse stables, in real life it's probably not a good idea to have animals located right next to a roller coaster, because they'll probably get scared. Getting in a mechanic over here just quickly, because the game kept on moaning at me that no mechanic could get to the mirror maze over there. So I had to oblige and sort the game out. And now we're just getting in some of those walls, those low walls, just to kind of separate off where those supports are actually. I wanted to keep the supports in, just so that it didn't look like the track was floating so much. And there's the name of the ride there. I don't even know when I named that. But it's called Flight of the Loftwings. Kind of a play on Flight of the Valkyries. I mean, you wouldn't be hearing the song Flight of the Valkyries whilst you're riding it, but that'd just be weird. And so we're just building up some of the buildings around the pathway. It's not really fully built up. It's and they're not really quite ruins. They're just smaller buildings. You could probably see or imagine like you'd have animatronic Loftwings sitting about the place on top of roofs and looking down and stuff, and they would look pretty cool. Just getting at some of those pots. Thought about having a hidden secret treasure chest in there, but it stuck through the wall, so I got rid of it. I just decided to fill in those gaps with some more pots instead. Accidentally deleted those trees there, but never mind, because that gave way to a better look later on. Getting in another tower here. So we have all these walkways going across the paths, trying to make it look built up in a way that's different to the rest of the town. And you could kind of see that as a walkway for people just standing around or something. Getting another little tower in the center there. I think this will be one of the more different pathway scenery kind of things where, I mean, on other rides we'll probably build massive stations both around the actual track station and the queue line there. I think this just is better when it's a little bit more open because it's more foresty. You don't really want a massive building surrounding all of it, because I don't think it would look as good here in Clocktown. I mean, where elsewhere, probably with something like the space area, I think more of the roller coasters and queue lines in that will be encased in scenery, just because it will make it look better aesthetically. So yeah, we got a little interconnected building there with a little walkway in between. Putting on the roofs on those buildings there, and just getting in a couple more walls and trees. Oh, and a sort of a runway for the roller coaster. That was a last minute idea as well. To then get get a tower at the bottom there, and then the roller coaster just goes up and over that tower. A couple more trees, and I think we are done on the speed build bit there. Now, I just wanted to see how it actually looked when we rode it. So here we go. Sitting, waiting in the station. There are brave park guests, and the seats go up into the flying position. Over the first tower there, looking down across the park. Yes, good camera work past me. And into the first drop. Here we go. Woo! Yes, that's not a great drop. And then we go back up, and it's sort of a lazy, relaxing flyby over the Southern Swamp lazy river there. Just around those trees. And down. So you can see how it will look later on there. And there's a little twist there. And down into the brakes. There is a block brake here, so that's a bit abrupt. Oh, that's gonna hurt. And then we go up into the big drop here, just on the chain lift. Now I don't know if this actually builds excitement for the guests, because I know in the past longer chain lifts actually build up the excitement for the drop. So. And down we go, through the trees, and up and over the castle wall, down into the upward spiral there, and around, and back over the castle wall, back into another drop, and back into the forest, through the double twist. I think there are some brakes there, but they don't seem to be working. Oh, this is going to snap. Oh, that's not good. Yep, definitely need some more brakes, and we're still pretty fast through here. And then quite a sharp turn there on the end, but we're back in the station. So yes, that is the first roller coaster of the park. And now you can't really see it because it's night time. But never mind, we'll get some lights in there in the next part, or I'll do that off screen. But yeah, that is our first roller coaster. Thank you for watching. I hope we'll hopefully see you in the next part. Bye!